Today on People Now, tributes pouring in as fans around the world mourn the death of the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin.
Ariana Grande gushes about her fiancé Pete Davidson and what her family thinks of her man.
I've taken extra gigs to pay for all the damn bows we got in the house.
We're getting real about life off stage, going country with Rascal Flatts star Jay DeMarcus, Thomas Rhett, and Charles Kelly from Lady Antebellum.
A burglar breaks into a house and finds a woman attempting to take her life.
What happens next? Well, the star of Breaking and Exiting, Milo Gibson, is here telling us all about that new movie.
It's live today on People Now.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to People Now. So good to see you.
Oh, I love that energy.
Oh, the weekend is here. If you weren't excited enough about the weekend, we've got another reason to celebrate today, everybody.
That is right. Ariana Grande's album Sweetener just dropped. So we want to know, which track are you loving the most? We've been listening to all the music this morning. So tweet us your answer with the hashtag PeopleNow, and you may see it on the show.
We're going to check in with you a little bit later. For now, here's what you need to know and what's trending today. Beginning with this, fans, friends, and music lovers everywhere are mourning the loss of the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. Loving tributes are popping up all over for the legendary singer who died on Thursday, including a lavish display featuring photos, flowers, candles, even written messages from fans and her most iconic lyrics. That's with her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. You see pictures of it there. Meanwhile, the marquee at the Apollo Theater in New York City's Harlem also lighting up to honor the star. Franklin appeared on stage more than a dozen times at the Apollo over the course of her 6-decade career. And her history with the storied theater runs very deep, guys. She made her Apollo debut at the age of 19. That was in 1962. When she returned for a 5-day concert series in 1971, the marquee said simply, "She's home." Perfectly put there. And Franklin was inducted into the Apollo Walk of Fame in 2010. Outside the historic theater on Thursday, fans shared what they loved most about the icon.
There's several people that have come with that title after, and God bless them all. Queen of this, queen of that, but that was the queen.
For my heart, she's gonna be deeply missed, you know what I mean?
I love her. She's my idol. I mean, of course, she's a lot of people's idol. We call her our girl.
She transcended art, she transcended music. She was the embodiment of the black movement in the 1960s. She was the embodiment of female empowerment in the 1960s.
She has so much love and feeling to her music, so it's definitely going to be missed.
People feeling such a personal connection to her. No doubt that Aretha Franklin will live on in their hearts forever. And she will also live on in space. Yes, you heard that right. NASA tweeted Thursday that asteroid 249516 Aretha, named to commemorate the Queen of Soul, is still orbiting out there beyond Mars. The asteroid was discovered in February 2010 on NASA's NEOWISE mission. Pretty cool stuff there. Now, Franklin died Thursday morning of advanced pancreatic cancer. She was 76 years old. You stick around, we're going to be sharing more memories of Aretha later in the show, including her fiery response to being body shamed. You're going to love this. Now, guys, we move on to another music legend and her take on Franklin's legendary life. Gladys Knight, a.k.a. the Empress of Soul, is opening up about the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, revealing that the icon didn't always realize just how talented she was.
She had a voice that was God-given, and she used it to the best of her ability and to all kinds of heights. And you know what? With Aretha, she didn't really know what she had. She was kind of shy.
Gladys Knight also paid tribute to the late Aretha Franklin Thursday by tweeting, quote, "Aretha, your music set a standard for every single lady in this industry to rise to. You have touched minds, hearts, and spirits, including my own. I pray you have a smooth journey, Riri, and hopefully I'll get to sing with you in the heavenly choir." All right, guys, now we move on to this. Watch. Ariana Grande delivering a powerful performance dedicated to the late Aretha Franklin on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon Thursday night, even shedding a few tears while singing the legend's iconic song, Natural Woman. Now, earlier on Thursday, Grande shared a black and white photo of herself with an arm around Franklin, captioning the picture with heart emojis. She explained to Fallon that she had met Franklin a few times. They even sang at the White House together, describing the Queen of Soul as so sweet and so cute. And Fallon shared his own memories of Franklin on Thursday, telling his audience that when she came onto his show, they weren't allowed to use air conditioning because it's bad for the vocal cords. Everyone was roasting because of it, according to his story. Everyone except Aretha Franklin herself. She came out in a long fur coat. He went on to joke that Questlove almost fainted when she walked on set and said Franklin was charming and nice to every single person on the Tonight Show staff. Fallon even says Franklin was a Tonight Show fan till the very end. He said, quote, she would call us even up until last year and say, tell Jimmy I'm watching the show before bed.
Well, we met on SNL and like 2-3 years ago or whenever that was. We never like exchanged numbers or anything. We weren't even like friends for a long time, but I had the biggest crush in the whole world on him the whole time, like forever. Like my friends used to make fun of me for all that stuff. Everyone's gonna be like, but I like left his writer's room and we were like writing skits and stuff for the show. And my tour manager, Rashad, was in the hallway, and like, I'm not a crushy person. I don't have like crushes on people I don't know. I'm not crushy. But I left and I like jokingly said to my tour manager, I was like, I'm marrying him 100%. I'm literally marrying him.
I guess when you know, you know. During her visit on Fallon, Ariana Grande gushed about someone else besides Aretha, of course her fiance, Pete Davidson. She gave fans a taste of her new album, Sweetener, as well. The singer, who's been teasing the record for quite some time, opened up about the track Pete, which you guessed it, is totally about her SNL beau. Ariana sings that Pete is her, quote, soulmate, telling Jimmy she wrote the song just a week after the pair started dating. She says this, quote, I just made it and I sent it to him and I didn't know what to call it, so I just called it Pete. It was either going to be that or This Is About Pete Davidson as a title. And she says, I was like, why not? You know, you should be direct. And I guess that is very direct. I like the honesty there. Ariana and Pete first began dating this past May, following the singer's split from her longtime boyfriend, Mac Miller. Since then, it's been quite the whirlwind romance, Ariana revealing her family already loves the comedian, including her grandma, Nona. So glad the family is all there for that. Guys, now we switch gears to a much more serious story, actually a very tragic story. Watch this.
At this point, we have been able to recover a body that we're quite certain is Shanann Watts' body. We have strong reason to believe that we know where the bodies of the children are, and recovery efforts are in process on that.
Police have now recovered the bodies of 2 children believed to be those of Colorado sisters 4-year-old Bella and 3-year-old Celeste, who were allegedly murdered by their father. Their mother, 15 weeks pregnant, was also killed. The pregnant Colorado woman and her 2 daughters vanished earlier this week, officials saying the group was likely murdered inside their home and hidden on property belonging to the woman's husband's former employer. Chris Watts was arrested late Wednesday night and accused of first-degree murder and tampering with evidence in the death of his wife and daughters. Their cause of death has not been released, neither has the motive. Before his arrest, though, when the family was still missing, Watts gave several news interviews, casting himself as a grieving husband and father, hoping for their safe return.
I hope that she's somewhere safe right now and with the kids. But, I mean, could she just taken off? I don't know. But if somebody has her and they're not safe, like, I want them back now.
Friends and relatives still shocked by the news, including the family's neighbor, who says she sensed no trouble.
Shanann was a beautiful person. She was a beautiful woman. She was happy. No one would have thought anything.
A makeshift memorial has been placed in front of the family's home. Balloons, flowers, and 2 Disney princesses serve as a reminder of the lives lost. Truly a heartbreaking story here. Guys, we'll keep you updated on People.com with more developments. But Andrea, you have more for us in Star Trek.
Yes, switching gears here. We are kicking off Star Trek today with a new look for the one and only Kim Kardashian. Watch this.
First of all, I'm driving in Miami, and if anyone knows me, they know that I love to drive. So I have a neon wig on. You know how I feel about wigs too, but I'm doing it.
There she is. Kim Kardashian West hit the town in Miami on Thursday night and debuted a neon green wig. The reality star started the night in a white Ferrari convertible with red interiors, accompanied by Real Housewives of Miami alum Larsa Pippen. But then she switched cars after dinner to a neon green Lamborghini, which she revealed she had to get to match her new look. Very casual, just get a new car to match your wig. Kim admitted on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians in February that she has an aversion to wigs, saying that she needs her real hair. But she made an exception for the Cher-like neon wig that wasn't easy to keep up with. In one of the videos of the night shared to her Instagram stories, fans can see hairstylist Chris Appleton brushing out the wig in a bathroom as Kim says, such high maintenance hair. We don't think she minded it too much. She slayed the wig. To complete the look, Kim rocked a micro mini metallic silver number, which she paired with clear plastic pumps. Guess it's good to be green. Switching onto this, Crazy Rich Asians hit theaters Wednesday. Fans can't get enough. Rapper and actress Aquafina opened up about the cast's fun nights out doing karaoke in Singapore while they were filming. Watch this.
It was really just Ronnie Chang, who plays Eddie, bombarding the mic all night, singing Ariana Grande and Taylor Swift in a monotone voice. He is completely tone deaf. And then when you try to take the mic back to do some Wonderwall, he'd just be like, "Let me just do one more Ariana Grande song." He was very mean.
That's amazing. It was revealed shortly after that Jeong had not been invited for the night out, but do not worry, the actor doesn't hold any grudges and is able to joke about the experience now.
Oh, what a relief.
I was in a norebang like next door.
Oh, you were in a norebang?
Yeah, I was in a norebang.
Okay.
And I was knocking a lot of times. I was like, "Hey guys."
She's like, "We didn't hear you."
Yeah, you didn't hear me because the music's slow, because of Ronnie's voice. "Hey guys, I got some cameo word up. I got some jewels."
We didn't hear any of that.
Yeah, okay, I'll be by myself in this little room with a trap door. I was just there. It was okay. It was just me alone with some Black Crows and some cameo.
We apologize. He's still butthurt. We apologize.
But I had a great time. I learned to, lemonade out of lemons. You know what I mean? Yep. That's fine.
This is our entire experience.
Unity.
Yeah. This is why we don't invite you anywhere.
Unity.
He's taking it very well. All right, now on to one incredible Aretha Franklin tribute. Oh, sing it, Alicia. What a way to honor the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. Alicia Keys stopped by Nicki Minaj's new Queen radio show and paid her respect to the late legendary vocalist by singing Franklin's hit Natural Woman. Keys also opened up about the icon on Twitter, saying, quote, "One of my greatest inspirations. The songs she gave us made us stronger and prouder. She empowered us. We get to be inspired by her forever, and now I'm going to write more songs in her honor." Well, we cannot wait for those songs, Alicia. And those are your Star Tracks for today.
All right, guys, stay with us. We're revealing the epic way Aretha Franklin once slammed body shamers. Plus, actor Milo Gibson is here. He's live talking about his new movie, Breaking and Exiting, and so much more. You don't want to miss that.
All right, everyone, in honor of Ariana Grande dropping her new album, Sweetener, we've been asking, what track are you loving the most? So let's check in on your responses so far.
One Twitter user says, "God is a Woman" is a bop.
That's a new thing that the kids are saying, Jeremy. It's a bop. It's a real bop.
It's a real bop, everybody.
Another Twitter user posted this meme that we have coming up here. Oh, by God is a Woman. Breathing is that holy queen now. We've all seen this meme.
This meme has been used so many different times, and I'm glad that they're now doing it with Ariana.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Do we have more? Here's another one. R.E.M. will definitely be my biggest jam during Christmas time. All right, love that. You know, okay, here's another one.
Mood. Just falling asleep with that album.
And kind of cradling it, loving it a little bit.
Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, it's what we've been singing, No Tears Left to Cry.
Yeah, that one's really good.
I think it's my favorite because I've had a lot of road trips this summer, and so I've heard it on the radio basically every other song.
Yeah, I like God is a Woman. I think I just like the concept of it as well, along with the vocals and everything.
The other thing about No Tears Left to Cry, there's a moment in there where I feel like it's got this throwback, almost Mariah Carey vibe.
Yeah, well, a lot of people compare those two.
Yeah.
Because when you listen to Ariana Grande, she has the most beautiful voice.
And it's got
the hugest range.
That wispy, airy quality that Mariah has. But that specific song, I think, really goes in. Like, 20 years ago, that would have been a Mariah Carey song.
Yeah, and obviously, Ariana's fans are going nuts on Twitter, so you guys keep sending in those tweets. All right, now we're switching gears from music to the TV and movies you need to check out this weekend.
Money.
1.2 million.
The Nick you're dating is Nick Jeong?
Yeah, you guys know them or something?
Hells yeah. They're just the biggest developers in all of Singapore.
Damn, Rachel. It's like the Asian Bachelor. These people aren't just rich, they're crazy rich.
Oh, you really should have told me that you're like the Prince William of Asia.
That's ridiculous. Much more of a Harry.
This is Crazy Rich Asians. Californian Rachel is invited by her handsome boyfriend Nick to visit his hometown of Singapore, except Nick hasn't exactly told her he comes from a family that's richer than your wildest dreams. It's the Great Gatsby times about 1,000, and it is a fun, opulent, good time.
It's about time someone stood up to Auntie Eleanor. Well, you, not me. Oh, God. She can't know I was ever here.
You mean to tell me that somebody actually juggled herring? No, it was the herring who did the juggling. Tiny little Ginsu knives. Really very dangerous. I mean, one false move, they could have filleted themselves.
Growing up, Betty White made me want to live in Florida, watching the Golden Girls.
Us too, Ryan, actually. This tribute to 96-year-old Betty White gives us an exclusive peek at Betty behind the scenes, plus friends and co-stars like Reynolds, Tina Fey, Carl Reiner, and even more share their memories of the legend who's celebrating 80 years in show business this year.
You can't get rid of me.
All right, guys, we are looking back on some of our favorite Aretha Franklin memories after news of her death on Thursday.
Yeah, so you're going to love this one. So back in 1993, New York Post columnist Liz Smith wrote an article about Aretha Franklin and the Bill Blass gown with a plunging neckline that the Grammy Award winner wore in a Fox TV special. Now, part of that article went like this. Liz said, quote, "Must know she's too bosomy to wear such clothing, but she just doesn't care what we think, and that attitude is what separates mere stars from true divas."
So a little bit of a backhanded compliment there. Franklin was not about to take that. She fired back with a letter of her own.
She wrote, "How dare you be so presumptuous as to presume you could know my attitudes with respect to anything other than music."
Woof, and here's where she really kind of brings the heat, kind of brings it home. Obviously, she says, "I have enough of what it takes to wear a bustier, and I haven't had any complaints. When you get to be a noted and respected fashion editor, please let us all know."
Burn. I appreciate that, Burn. In closing, Franklin included this little PS. She said, "You are hardly in any position to determine what separates stars from divas, since you are neither one or an authority on either."
Putting her in her place, a lesson to all of us next time we deal with any kind of shaming. You can kind of channel Aretha. Don't take any of it,
Well,
right?
I love that she did that. Obviously, body shaming has been a thing for forever, and it's terrible, and I love that Aretha just called her out, put her in her place, because that's not okay, and she's such a legend that it shouldn't matter what she wears or what her body looks like.
Right, and what we're seeing with the tributes that are pouring in, for especially from the different celebrities about Aretha Franklin, is noting that, look, she was a pioneer in so many ways. She was this legend in music. She was a legend in pop culture, but also in her personal life in those ways. The woman behind it was someone who stood up for herself. She was strong. She kind of cut her own path. And that's something that people appreciate about her. Another thing that I love, so yesterday we went home, I turned on Alexa and started listening to Aretha Franklin music. We've been talking about it, just want to listen. And my little girls just start like dancing to it and loving it. And they were talking about how much they loved it. You get this sense that, especially with all these younger stars that looked up to her, that her music and her legacy is going to continue with their music, and they'll continue to maybe pay homage to her in the way they write and sing.
Well, you look at all of the awards and everything she won, Rolling Stone calling her the greatest singer of all time. So her music is obviously amazing. And I do love these little behind-the-scenes stories as well that maybe we didn't know before. Aside from being one confident lady you do not want to mess with, Aretha Franklin was also a devout Christian and daughter of a Detroit Baptist minister.
Pastor Robert Smith Jr. from Franklin's New Bethel Baptist Church in Detroit is sharing his thoughts on his late congregant and her powerful legacy.
Without her, I would think that the church would have had to close down many years ago. But we've been able to stay in this community and survive because of her benevolence. She has often had fundraisers for our emergency relief center, Samaritan ministry. She's helped us to feed the people of the community in their homes. And so out of all the bad news that goes out about Detroit and murder and poverty and riots and everything else, you got one consistent good news story. Aretha Franklin is from Detroit.
Well, we are going country in this week's People with some of your favorite stars. We're talking everything from raising kids to keeping up with that Southern hospitality.
That's right. Thomas Rhett, Jay DeMarcus, and Charles Kelly sat down with us, explained just some of the things that make growing up in the South so special. Watch.
You know, Willa Gray loves to ride on the four-wheeler. Ada James loves to hop on the Polaris while we ride and run the dogs to the trails. And Willa Gray's just starting to love how to fish, and we'll paddleboard. And I love getting them to kind of grew up the way that I grew up.
But yeah, there's something about Nashville, you know, it's just a big city enough, but you can kind of get away from it when you want. And we have so many close friends and family. You know, it's a nice central place for all our family to come and meet for Christmas and Thanksgiving.
And for me, they have to use their manners. That nobody can just say yes or no. Yes, ma'am. No, sir. And that's my sticking point. Madeline has to wear a bow. I mean, she's 7 years old. It's the South. I have a rule here: no bow, no go.
I've taken extra gigs to pay for all the damn bows we got in the house.
So many bows. Hey, I love you some bows. And yes, sir.
There you go. Yeah, besides teaching the kids a few manners, Thomas Rhett also opened up about how much he is learning since adopting Willa Gray last year, telling us the little toddler fits perfectly into their family.
Last May, Willa Gray came home, and you know, when you've been trying that hard to make something happen and it finally happens, it's kind of like, what do you do with that moment? It was kind of a little bit of shock and a little bit of just like, thank God, you know. I'll never forget going and getting her from the airport, and you know, just having her there, thinking that she was going to go, what is that? What is an airport? What is all this stuff? And I've never seen a child just be so perfect at like just cruising, being like, oh, there's downtown, you know. I remember the first week we got home, we took her to Times Square, and I had her on my shoulders, and you know, just looking at all those lights, it was just like, you know, finally we have our baby girl home, and she has not skipped a beat since she's gotten here.
They are such a perfect family. And for more on these Southern stars, watch People Features Growing Up Country. It's available now on PeopleTV.
All right, tomorrow is Clear the Shelters Day at shelters around the country. Clear the Shelters Day. It means rescues are waiving and reducing adoption fees on all kinds of furry friends. We spoke with Lisa, the director at the SPCA of Westchester, to find out why adoption is so important and how it can change your life. Watch this.
If we get 40, dogs out, that's another 40 that we can rescue. So you're really saving 2 lives.
So talk about this. For people who might be on the fence, pets obviously can change your life in so many ways. I'm sure you hear amazing stories all the time from people whose just lives are kind of taken to a new level because they have this new partner and this new family member. Talk about some about that.
Well, the best is when you get someone who gets an animal home and they don't actually realize, oh gosh, what did I get myself into? And you're like, just stick with it, just give it a little time. And those are usually the most rewarding because we'll get some of the greatest updates, and especially some of our dogs that might take a little more time and patience to settle into the home. If people just stick with it, it's usually like the best decision they've ever made.
I don't know what the protocol is after almost dying.
What is your plan here? You can't just babysit me forever.
You say that like you think I actually have a plan. What are you supposed to eat after almost ODing on painkillers?
You should probably go to the hospital. Oh my God, I'll eat. Just stop talking, both of you.
There you have it. Milo Gibson stars in the new movie Breaking and Exiting. He's joining us live now. Thank you so much for being here, Milo. How are you?
Yeah, it's good to talk to you. Let's start with this movie. It's a really unique concept, right? The guy breaks into a house, finds someone who's contemplating suicide. All of a sudden, some sort of relationship emerges out of that, and it goes from there. It's serious topic, but there's comic relief, right?
Yeah, I think we run the fine line between comedy and a serious situation of somebody committing suicide. So, but yeah, I think Jordan, who wrote it, Jordan Hitson, who's Daisy, and Peter, I think we all did a great job, and the cast and crew did a great job at creating something great.
What'd you love about the character?
That he's got a big heart, but he doesn't know that he's got a big heart until he meets this girl Daisy, and then all this stuff happens.
This unlikely tenderness.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. The movie definitely shines a light on suicide awareness, something that's so important right now.
Yeah.
What do you hope that people take away from this film, especially people that may be struggling with their own mental health?
Yeah, I think that in our society we choose to ignore these type of things, and I think that maybe this film will maybe make someone, see something and make light of it, and maybe not ignore these things and talk to people and don't leave them alone, because that's what we do. We try not to do the things that make us uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah. And
opening up the conversation is so important.
It's huge. And especially with the little, again, the comedic twist kind of brings it all to a palatable level for people.
I hope so.
Yeah. No, that's right. Okay, so let's change it up a bit.
Okay.
Breaking and Exiting, it's directed by Peter Facinelli, who we know and love from Twilight. Okay. Is there any Twilight talk when you're hanging with that guy now, or is that all just like, please make it stop for him? Is he just so anxious to move forward?
I don't know. I never saw any of the Twilight.
Did you not? Oh my goodness.
Sorry, Peter.
Wow.
But there is a photo in the film that you can find somewhere, and it's of Peter, and it's pretty funny. It's on a wall. But yeah, I mean, I guess it was talked about a little bit. People saying, I love Twilight. You know, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. What kind of is the photo just of like a
It's like a headshot of him signed. I think he stuck it in the film, so like people maybe kind of see it.
Little Easter egg there. But okay, talk about Peter Facinelli as a director and kind of helming the ship and how that went and how
it was great. It was great. I mean, I think having a director that's also an actor, it's really great because he sees things that maybe some directors don't see, and it makes it really easy and fun. And he sees what I see, or hopefully, and it's kind of just really easy to talk to each other.
Yeah, to trust them, right? To
yeah,
really
definitely,
be able to lean in.
It's huge.
Yeah. You were also directed by another famous actor. I don't know, maybe you've heard of him, Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah.
That was actually your first film role.
There was one before that, but that was like a short. But
okay, so that's, I mean, what is that like having your dad on set directing you? Did it make it more or less intimidating for your first big film role?
No, it didn't, because it wasn't like a father-son relationship on set. It was definitely very director-actor type of thing. So that was great. And then as soon as the cameras, as soon as we're off set, that's when it was all like, wokes and, what's up, Porky, or whatever.
So it went well. It went well. Any future plans to work together?
As of right now, no.
You've got that role. Obviously, you've got a dad that's grown up. You grew up in the industry via your father and the family, to some degree.
Yeah.
You're aware of it, at least. You're kind of in that, under that umbrella. Is there a key piece of advice your dad's given you, like do's and don'ts of navigating Hollywood, that really kind of sticks out to you?
I think I don't think he never gave me advice on the outside, but as for acting, it's kind of like ignore the camera.
Yeah.
Ignore that guy over there in the corner, because he's your best friend, but if you're paying attention to that, you're not paying attention to other. You're not paying attention to what you're really there for, So.
Yeah, I mean, does he give you his honest opinions on your projects? Can he be a tough critic? It's probably nice to have a family member, though, that will actually give you like their honest opinions, because you don't always get that.
Definitely. I mean, I'm a tough critic on other stuff, and I think I get that from him. But yes, he's very honest with me about stuff, and I love it. I always value his opinions.
Yeah. I love the just kind of looking at your life and your career. So pre-acting, some unique jobs: massage therapist, I believe, an electrician. Yeah. So you're a bit of a handyman. Maybe?
I am. Yeah, I always found that I learned visually, and I'm good with my hands. So those two things came very naturally to me.
So now you're fully immersed in the world of entertainment. You're pursuing the acting thing 100%. You're in. Do you at all miss sort of like being out of the spotlight? I mean, I guess there's like value in privacy.
I'm a pretty private person. I mean, that's how my family kind of all brought me and my siblings up. You know what I mean? It was very private. So yes, I do like my privacy, but I am doing something that doesn't give you that much. So I'm navigating it.
Yeah.
I'm navigating.
Right.
So you had these other jobs. What was the aha moment where you decided you wanted to jump into entertainment and go into this world?
I think it was when I was an electrician, and there was something that I wanted to do, and I didn't want to be 60 years old and regret something I didn't, that I thought I had a passion for. And then when I jumped in with both feet, I fell in love, and that's it.
And how did your dad react to you coming into that world?
He never pushed it, never said I couldn't.
Yeah.
He was like, just do what you love. And so yeah, I think he's okay with
it. I would think so.
Seems like maybe.
Maybe.
I do want to, the massage therapist thing I'm still hung up on. I think that's amazing. Do you still use those skills?
Asking for a friend.
Yeah.
I mean, my friends are always like, hey Milo, come hit me up. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna give you a massage at a bar or wherever we are. But yeah, it does.
Does your girlfriend get the benefit of those skills?
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does. When her back hurts, yeah, she does.
Do the thing. Okay, final annoying Mel Gibson question. Is there a movie of Mel's that on a Saturday when you're just hanging out flipping through the channels, you'll stop and watch? Is there one, or is it always just like keep going?
What about Braveheart?
Sometimes. Well, Braveheart's been on recently, so
yeah.
I stopped on it the other day, and I was like, why am I watching this? But yeah, whenever there's a movie, I always just stop and I watch it, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta get off of this.
So you'll stop for a second for any of them.
For a second, I'll be like, snap out of it.
Braveheart was the only movie my parents actually had us watch when we were growing up, so I've watched it so many times.
It's funny, and not to fully, my gosh, since you've been here a while, we feel like we can berate you with all these questions.
Yeah, keep going.
You have such an unbelievable likeness to your father, and I'm sorry, I know it's like you live with this, but has anyone ever stopped you and thought you were him? Is that the dumbest thing you've ever asked?
No, but it happened. No, it happens a lot. They go, well, you're really familiar, and I go, yeah, I get that sometimes. And they're like, you look like Mel Gibson. I go, I wish. I try to just play it off because it's hard to answer that, or if someone goes, you look like him, and it's hard to answer that and not sound like an ad.
And you've done your own project, so they might actually just recognize you from your
True,
own things.
true.
Yeah.
He was People's Sexiest Man Alive. I think you're
it's not
now
a bad thing.
in the running.
Am I in the running?
Just think through family lineage.
Okay.
It's
right.
there. So we're just letting you know early. You're in there.
Okay, thank you.
So we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
You're in the running. We'll let you know.
Keep it posted.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for indulging all of our
having me,
questions.
guys. I appreciate it.
Guys, check out Breaking and Exiting. You can watch it now.
This is Jennifer Lawrence in People. This is Jennifer photobombing Taylor Swift and Sarah Jessica Parker and Liam Hemsworth, proving that while we all love the fashion of the red carpet, it's people who steal the show. People. The details make the story.
All right, let's take one last look at our question of the day. We've been asking, what is your favorite track from the Ariana Grande's new album, Sweetener? There's so many.
One user says, No Tears Left to Cry, still my jam.
Okay.
That's what we're on board with that.
Another saying Breathing.
All right. I haven't heard that one yet.
We got to listen to that one because it looks like we have another Breathing fan on Twitter. So people are really loving this track. So if you haven't heard it, better adding a little twerking. Wow.
Maybe I'll be able to sing it after I am more familiar. Me 3 seconds into every song.
Yeah, people are definitely loving it. Just jamming out.
More tweets. This
confirms it. God is a woman.
I don't make the rules. I love it. And that's it.
That's what I'm saying. I love the concept. Why did we decide God was a man? Ariana Grande, she's onto something.
We're going to be talking about her music. We're going to be talking about all kinds of music. Monday, the Video Music Awards. We're going to be live streaming from the red carpet. So we're excited for that. And we'll see, what music everybody's loving these days. So check that out on Monday. Coming up next week, guys, as well, we've got the full cast of Jersey Shore, Family Vacation. They're here live, spilling all the details on this season's drama.
That's going to be very juicy. Plus, Iggy Azalea is filling us in on her new music and so much more. You don't want to miss it. Thank you so much for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from actress AnnaSophia Robb. Enjoy.
Have a good weekend.
Hi, I'm AnnaSophia Robb, and this is One Last Thing. The last TV show I binge watched was Glow and Dark Tourist. The last time I was starstruck was the Fab Five. I was at a Florence and the Machine concert, and Tan, Jonathan, and Anthony walked out, and I was so giddy. I was with one of my friends and my roommate, and we were all just standing there like, oh my gosh, I love the show. My last moment of bliss was earlier today. I was looking at the Statue of Liberty and just enjoying the flowers.